Thank you. We are live now. So, a lot of new people today in this class. A lot of you are old. How many were joining this for the first time? Batch 8 students. You raise your hands. (52, 53). Many are sending it in comment box. Okay. Okay, got an idea. So a lot of you are new and some of you are coming here from the old batch. See, those एक बार कुछ बातें before we start. So first thing is that classes are going into a circular fashion. What do I mean by circular fashion? That in this class we have students from batch 5, batch 6, batch 7, and the new batch which has started is batch 8. So, and after this will be the last subject for batch 5th. They will go out. Batch 9 will come in. So first in, first out. That can till now we have completed 4 batches in this NCERT class. So starting with geography to all of you. This is all of you probably have got the PDFs of the NCERT books. I have sent the drive link. If you have not got, so many of you have not got yet. You will get that. Don't worry. See, एक चीज सबसे वैधानिक चेतावनी. My number is 8368481944. Now many of you have already joined some WhatsApp group or something else. So I'm not the admin of all those groups. I do not control. I have nothing to do what is posted there and what's not. So this is my number. If you are not, if I'm not in that group, so I'm not running that group. Okay. So whatever you have to ask on this number only. I don't have any other WhatsApp number. I don't run any other channel, any other thing. So this is my number. You have to talk to me. Last class में क्या हुआ? एक महीने से Smita was talking to someone else, किसी और group के किसी और admin से और कोई नंबर नहीं है मेरा, ठीक है? So you have any doubt, any query, ask me here. Then if you will not get any material, anything, you have any question about क्या टेस्ट लगाएं सर, क्या मटेरियल होगा, क्या करना है, that will be solved here. Then one common problem with all of the new startees are note making. नोट कैसे बनाना है, क्या लिखे नहीं लिखे. So stay in the class, you will learn slowly. Okay, don't rush. धीरे धीरे समझ में आ जाएगा क्या करना है. Classes will be mostly in English. If I'm using some Hindi words in between, that means that either they are informal conversation, some jokes or something like that, or if I'm saying something in Hindi, that means I will translate that in English as well. Okay, so South Indian students do not have to worry that you are missing anything. Okay, एक वो FOMO होता है, fear of missing out, that everybody is understanding and I am missing something. So you will not focus on the actual information that I'm giving. तो उसके हिंदी में क्या बोल दिया? What sir told in Hindi. So don't worry about that, okay? And even after that you are not able to understand anything, ask me. I'm more than happy to reply that in the class itself, okay? You can raise your hand, you can send your comment in the chat box. This is not a YouTube class where you are not allowed to say anything. You are very much free to interact, okay? Whatever doubt you have in between, you can ask. Then, yeah, these are the sum of the information. So today we are going to start with geography. Many of you have, yeah, this session is being recorded, Bina. So this always happens. I need all of you to be a little bit attentive towards this. Those who are old students, they already know. So those who are old students, they already know that sometime I miss to record the session. So if I miss, it will be your duty to remind me that sir, you are not recording. You see, you will see that there is a live करके एक वो ऊपर आ रहा है. So if that symbol is not coming, that means I'm not recording. So if that's the case, in that situation, you have to remind me that sir, you are not recording. Please start the recording. Somebody has to take the responsibility. Till now, fourth batch students have been doing that with very diligently. तो मैं कभी भूल भी जाता हूँ तो yeah, my mic is on today, Aditi. कल शाम में मैंने एक पूरा क्लास ले लिया और 1 घंटे के बाद मुझे याद आया कि माइक ऑन नहीं है. मतलब माइक, ये वाला माइक कनेक्टेड नहीं है, लैपटॉप के माइक से चल रहा था. Okay, I think I should close the chat box. थोड़ा अभी मुझे बात कर लेने दो, and then you guys can interact. So in every batch there are some students who are like so much in hurry. Start कब होगा? Start हो चुका है. More than preparation, what I am telling, these things are very important. You are very new to this, so with me you need to keep some patience. If you like try to rush, तो तुम्हारा भी नुकसान बहुत है. Have some patience and you will learn everything, okay? Don't try to rush. Now, one thing I wanted to tell you also, yesterday I was reading something. There is a big investment company, venture capitalist, Sequoia Group. Sequoia Group. Anybody has heard the name Sequoia Group? So, world largest investment venture capitalist company. World largest. The amount of money that they have invested in, the amount of money that they have invested in different companies is more than, it's about 33 trillion or something. It's more than the GDP of United Kingdom. So I was hearing, I was listening to a debate interview of one of its partners. He has this idea, how do they pick that which company? So they are the ones who initially funded companies like Google. They are the ones who funded companies like Instacart. If you don't know, it's one of the biggest company nowadays in US about in grocery delivery and all. So take a name and probably they are the investors there. In India, Paytm and all. So yeah, they don't even credit. So the interviewer asked him, how do you know that this company is going to work? How do you find those leaders कि ये कर लेगा, इस पे पैसा लगाया जा सकता है? So this person has a theory. He used to call this theory the idea of obsession. So if somebody is obsessed with something, he will achieve or she will achieve that. Now, what's the idea of obsession? He gave a very wonderful story about Bill Gates. So he's a rich guy. So बता रहा था कि so one day Bill Gates was dropping him from his office to airport. He saw that in Bill Gates' car there is no radio. In all the cars, you will say there is a stereo set in front. So there is no stereo. There is a big hole there. So out of curiosity, he asked Bill Gates that why don't you have a radio? किसी ने निकाल लिया क्या? Somebody has plugged it out. Bill Gates said it took me about 8 minutes 27 seconds to come from my office to come from my house to this office. And I'm kind of afraid that if there will be a radio, I will start that radio. And if I will start that radio, I will not be thinking about Microsoft. I will be thinking about something else, whatsoever is being shown or whatsoever is being telecasted on the radio. Said that's the idea of obsession. If you're obsessed with something, you will sleep with it, and when you will wake up, you will be thinking about that. Your first and last thought will be about that thing only, nothing else. And ask any UPSC topper. They are obsessed with this preparation. If you're not obsessed with this, if something else is troubling you, if you are thinking about something else that कुछ हो सकता है कुछ और, तो कुछ नहीं होगा फिर. Be obsessed. This should be one thing about which you should be thinking about when you are going to the bed. This last thought, and this will be the one thing with which you will wake up. And this is literally true. I'm not exaggerating a single bit. If you cannot follow this, then sorry. कुछ नहीं होने वाला. तो many of you will be on this dilemma. करना है कि नहीं करना है. Until the day till you are in dilemma, rest assured you are not going to crack this exam. This exam will give you the result only on that day when you will truly commit yourself कि यही करना है. पुराने बैच में जो लोग हैं उनको एक दिन सुनाया था, लोग कर लिया स्वीकार है अब तो पथ है ही. It's the only path. And if you cannot do that, you are thinking about कि ये भी कर लेते हैं, वो भी कर लेते हैं, वो भी कर लेते हैं. वो गर्लफ्रेंड परेशान है, वो बॉयफ्रेंड आज बात नहीं कर रहा है, आज पड़ोसी रूठ गए हैं. तो आज 150 रुपए देके तुमने ये सीख लिया कि अगर ये करोगे तो आज से छोड़ दो प्रिपरेशन. डोंट वेस्ट योर 1 lakh or 2 lakh rupees. If you cannot do this, stop this today only. You can leave this meeting, आराम से घर जाओ और कुछ और करो. ठीक है? It will save you a lot of time and a lot of money, a lot of energy. डेटा बच जाएगा, पबजी खेल सकते हो. Safreen, that's what I said. These are the informal conversations. Most of the things I'm trying to convey it in English. When the class will start, it will be fully in English only. So don't worry. Thoda sa, this is just the motivational part, okay? And I hope all of you will be serious and diligent, because to 90 people have joined this meeting group now. And in NCERT batch, we have almost about 1200 admissions. Some of you have already joined the Telegram group, and you can see the kind of messages uh, that have been put there. So review wise, content wise, I'm 100% assured now that whatever I'm teaching, that's of the top notch quality. There's no हाँ नितेश कुमार सिंह लोग कर लिया स्वीकार अब तो पते ही सो yeah Bhav, yeah, I told that I will be talking about CSET. uh, so first decide, okay, first commit today, take this pledge that I am going to give 100% of myself for this exam. Some of you will be in dilemma, I am working somewhere, I just want to try. So if you just want to try, it will be just a try. Mark my words, if you are just here to try, if you are here to check your luck doesn't work here. This is not a one day exam where you जय माता दी करके 10 क्वेश्चन कर दिए सही हो गया and probably you will qualify, because there are multiple steps. Luck has some factor, but luck can pull you like Prachi, hi. So luck, because of a bad luck you cannot qualify, but because of luck, if you are thinking because of just luck you can qualify and become an IS, that's not gonna work. So yeah, Linovi Sumi Sequoia, that's the company I just mentioned. Now about some strategies, we had a session in the night for the 8th batch students. If you have missed that, I will I will share that recording. In that we have discussed about book lists and all. I hope many of you have missed. I think many of you have missed that. So please contact me again on my number. I will share you that link of the last class in which we talked about how to go about what should be your strategy. Throughout these classes, we keep discussing strategies, what should be done and what not. Uh, so that we will be doing. About CSAT, I was specifically willing to talk about because as I'm seeing more and more result of this year. I was talking to this in the personal mentorship batch also. Uh, it's somehow I'm feeling that many good people have scored very less marks. Even those who have qualified, they are in very that narrow margin of 70, 80. So that's not a good place to be. Okay, you need at least 67 marks, and if you are 70, if you by mistake do two questions wrong, you could have been out. So you should not take risk here. So what I'm suggesting you, in the last class also we had a discussion. I want you all to take this more seriously now and go and solve the previous year CSAT question and give it complete 2 hours. Don't worry about कि मुझे तो कुछ मैथ्स नहीं आता तो मैं क्या करूंगी. जितना आता है ना, even if it takes you whole 2 hours to solve one question, do that. But attempt previous year question and post me your result. कितना नंबर आता है, send me on my WhatsApp. Okay, sir, I tried giving this 2020 2019 वाला है, अभी जाके वो दे दो, कल परसों 2020 वाला आ जाएगा. So do that too and send me your scores. At what's your score now? 294 people are here, and अगर पीछे वाला मोटिवेशन थोड़ा तुम्हारे काम आया होगा तो आई एक्सपेक्ट एटलीस्ट 250 people will send me their scores within 2-3 days of previous year CSAT paper, and then we will discuss the strategy, what more can be done. I will get a simple idea that what kind of students we have. Okay, done, promise. नहीं. Okay, good. So papers you will find on, just Google it. You have to be a little bit smart. You are preparing for UPSC, you are expecting somebody to give you the materials. Most of the materials nowadays are available freely on internet. You have to be very smart in using internet. Okay, that's also a part of UPSC preparation. You cannot use internet, then so use internet. If you cannot use internet, somebody will take you money for the things which are freely available on internet. So Google UPSC CTET questions, you will get that. Okay. Now, ट्वेंटी नाइनटीन के बिना 2020 का तो नहीं मिलेगा ना, 2019 का होगा, उसका मार्कशीट भी होगा. आफ्टर सॉल्विंग 2019, सॉल्व मी योर, सेंड मी योर स्कोर्स. ओके. चलो ठीक है. These are the two things. One other important thing that I wanted to talk about in this class, which I feel is very important, because our idea is that the preparation should be very holistic. Oh, we have crossed 300 today. So our idea is that our preparation should be very holistic. So while we are doing this foundation batch, I think it will take care of your prelims and mains up to some extent. We will have some other classes like ethics and all, वो बात करेंगे हम बाद में. But I wanted to do this for long. Interview के लिए कुछ preparation किया जाए, because most of you are very shy in public speaking, framing your ideas, presenting your ideas. So I was very long back, this was a very old desire to do something on this field. So that's why we have created WhatsApp groups for all the states. Now, some of you have joined multiple groups or joined groups from the state you do not belong. Every state has a WhatsApp group. It took us some time, but we have created the groups for all the states. None of the states are missing. So join those WhatsApp groups. If you have not got the link, I will send that back again. Join those WhatsApp groups, and I want one volunteer from all the groups, one, you can say, team leader from all states. The task of the team leader they will be coordinating directly with me, and we will be having some weekly debates here. Okay, so that you get some idea how to present yourself, how to speak in front of people, how to formulate those ideas, and you get a serious group of people. You can realize कि अच्छा ये तो इतना पढ़ के आ रहा है. It will create a sense of competition too. So I need at least 25 people. Those who have joined the group, you can, like, again, WhatsApp me. I am ready to take this responsibility. स्मितार पटेल, हाँ ठीक है. We will discuss about this. Okay, रुको मैं अभी भेज ही देता हूँ उसको. ठीक है. Most of you are here, so this one issue will be solved right here. I'm sending this in the group. Wait. So this is one initiative, and you can use. Okay, नहीं, ये तो सबको नहीं मिलेगा. No, a team leader will be there who will organize. Like I cannot always talk in all the groups ki kya karna hai. The team leader will organize. एक मिनट copy message. Wait a minute. So the responsibility of the team leader will be to coordinate the things, to share the वो चैट ग्रुप में कोई बदमाशी कर रहा है तो उसको निकाल के बाहर करने का रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी उसका होगा. All such things. Okay. Yeah, it's pasted now. So WhatsApp links are pasted. You can join your respective group, respective state group. केरला तक ही हुआ. बट आगे का भेजता हूँ उनको. आफ्टर केरला, उत्तराखंड, कर्नाटका, केरला. I'm sending. It's in alphabetical order. Last few are coming. Wait. All the states are posted now. Don't worry. Yeah, Alvin, it's not Kerala, it's Kerala. क्या कर सकते हैं? That's so okay. Now this is all the information that I had to say. Now let's start the class. Okay. Before I start the class, this is class 6 NCERT. Okay, we will be going through the solar system today, latitudes and longitudes, very important chapter. And this you will not find in any other NCERT. So people say ki why to read class 6 NCERT? इतने बच्चे हो गए क्या? So you will not find this class 6 NCERT in like this information about latitudes and longitudes in higher classes. So we have to do this here. These few topics are related to environment. So whenever we are doing this, about 50% of your environment will be covered in these classes only. Okay. And again, these are very good classifications. We have to see that too. Going forward, chapter number 1. Earth in the solar system. Now, what's the shape of Earth? Geoid, oval. Okay, many people have many answers. Now, this is a very good explanation. Those who cannot understand Hindi, I will explain it later, but listen, hear this very carefully. ध्यान से सुनना, ठीक है? एक मिनट रुको.
जय हिंद। आप में से बहुत से लोगों को लगता है कि पृथ्वी गोल है। गोल नहीं है। कुछ लोग को लगता है चपटी है, चपटी भी नहीं है। कुछ कहते हैं संतरा की तरह है, तो कुछ कहते हैं नारियल, छुआड़ा, मौसम्मी, ये सब कुछ नहीं है। समझिए पृथ्वी है कैसे। पृथ्वी के बारे में अगर आप समझते हैं तो पहले आप दिमाग लगाइए कि पृथ्वी गोल कैसे हो सकती है। इसी पृथ्वी पे बड़ा बड़ा महासागर है, समुंदर है, धंसा हुआ अंदर है, वो कैसे गोल हो जाएगी। और इसी पृथ्वी के ऊपर बड़े बड़े विशाल पर्वत है, तो गोल कैसे हो सकता है। आपको मेरा चेहरा गोल लगता है। इसमें अगर आप देखेंगे नाक उठा हुआ है, आंख कम धंसा है, मुंह एकदम अंदर तक धंस गया हुआ है, माथा बराबर है, गाल तनी पचका ढचका है, अलग टाइप का है कि नहीं। इधर दाढ़ी है, सवाना घास का मैदान, इसको कैसे आप गोल कह सकते हैं। इसको कभी गोल है। अगर आप पृथ्वी को गोल या फिर नारंगी संतरा कहते हैं, इसका मतलब आपके अंदर सोचने विचारने की क्षमता उतनी नहीं है। समझिए आखिर पृथ्वी है कैसे। इसको समझने के लिए आपको 20 करोड़ साल पहले जाना पड़ेगा।
ठीक है, all of you have heard that. Very good explanation, right? Very famous teacher. From South India, those who cannot understand this, he is saying that Earth is, yeah, all of you know him, right? Earth is not spherical because there are so many mountains and oceans on this. So how can it be spherical? If it's spherical, then you do not have, if you think that it's spherical or it's oval or it's geoid, you do not have the right kind of intellect. You are not intellectually that much developed. Very entertaining, right? Very good style of explanation. And that's my warning for you for the first time in this class. If you want entertainment, watch those videos. If you want UPSC level ka understanding, Earth's surface is completely smooth and it's perfect sphere. Perfect sphere in the sense in smoothness. It's see what happened. What he's saying कि यहाँ पे पहाड़ है, पर्वत है, नाला है और उसके चलते Earth's diameter is 64,000 kilometers. On that, you have a mountain of, the highest mountain is Everest of about 8 kilometers. That too from the sea surface level. Now, what is this 8 kilometer going to do this to this 64 kilometer long length? If let's suppose you are a big giant, and if you will see the Earth's surface, and if you will try to feel it with your fingers, it will be very smooth. It will be smoother than the smoothest surface that you have seen. It's the most smoothest object in the universe. One of the most smoothest. So if you magnify, if you can imagine this, 64,000 kilometers and then 5 kilometers. ये चेहरे पे पिंपल की जैसा भी नहीं है, लेकिन अब उनका एक्सप्लेनेशन है, वो चाचा मामा दादा जो लोग पढ़ाई छोड़ चुके हैं उनको समझने के लिए वो अच्छा है. तो entertainment में और education में there is a little difference. And today if you can understand this from this one simple idea, so 6,400 kilometers, right? So if you can understand this small idea कि क्या पढ़ना है, सुनने में क्या अच्छा लगता है, and what UPSC actually needs, then you can appreciate this class. Be here with patience. Entertainment चाहिए तो जा सकते हो, ठीक है? Let's start this. Chapter number 2. Oh, sorry, chapter number 1. Earth and the solar system. We know, we have already some idea about the solar system. Solar system means sun and the planets around it. We are going to read about that. So we see, when we look up in the sky, we see many shiny objects, moon, stars, and all twinkling there. Along with those bright objects, we see moon sometime. It may, however, appear at different times, in different shapes, and at different positions. So movement of moon is a very, very complex thing. Why it's very complex? You know, we celebrate Eid. Globally, people celebrate Eid. And before Eid start होने से पहले, so every time it's like there will be announcement from Saudi Arabia or from some big ulemas or the priests of that very community that moon has been sighted and now we can celebrate Eid. Now, why it is so difficult to see this moon? Now, it someday it will come, someday it will not come. कई बार ऐसा होता है कि आगे बढ़ाना पड़ता है कि today we cannot see the moon, so Eid is not today, it is moved one day ahead. Why it happens? When we can exactly calculate so many complicated things around the world, why this movement of moon? Even in nights, if you have realized this, someday you will find that there is a moon, but next day you cannot say with surety that today where the moon would be. Most of us can't. Our parents and maybe our grandparents can tell, but we can't. Why is it so? We will talk about the movement of moon later when we will be discussing about tides, the orbital movement of moon around the earth. But one more important topic to discuss here today is full moon and new moon. All of you have this idea. Full moon is Purnima. When moon is full, we can see the complete bright moon in the sky. New moon is Amavasya, when we cannot see the moon. How does this happen? Anybody? किसी को idea है कब होता है ये? Let's see. This is your sun. This is Earth. Now, Earth is revolving around sun and moon is revolving around Earth. So let's suppose this is moon here and it's revolving around this. Someday it will be here, and then at some point it will be here. At some point it will be on the other side of the Earth. This is Earth slightly tilted. Now, when we can see full moon, here or here? One or two? कहाँ पे full moon होगा? I want to have some fun, so I'm asking this. When we will see the full moon? At position 1 or position 2? So most of you are 1, okay. 1 is the full moon, good. Now, so that's the big problem, okay. We will have full moon on position 2. Now, why it should be so? Let's see. We have been taught like this for years when we were a child. Keep the shadow of the moon lands on the earth on that day. We will see Amavasya, and then the shadow of the earth will fall on moon, and then it will become dark, and then it will become Amavasya there. तो ऐसा shadowness के concept के चक्कर में our whole concept has been ruined. It doesn't work like this. No, every time, first rule, remember this: any celestial object which do not have its own light, Earth, moon, other planets, apart from stars, all take their lights from star. So all the celestial bodies at any point of time in universe will always be half lit and half dark. Any celestial body will be half lit and half dark. You understand why? This is sun. let's suppose this body is getting its light from here. So half side of it will be lit and half side will be dark. Like if I'm here and I'm facing you, so my front face is lit and my back side is dark. And if I rotate, or if the lights rotate, so always half part of my face will be lit and half side will be dark. This happens with all the celestial bodies. So this concept कि अमावस्या के दिन चांद पे अंधेरा, ऐसा नहीं होता, ठीक है? Even on the new moon day, there will be light on moon. Half part will be lit even on that day. Now the second concept. So why then we see अमावस्या? देखो पहले सिचुएशन में क्या हो रहा है? Here half side of this moon which is falling on this side, this will be lit because sunlight is falling here, and the part of sun that we are facing, this part is visible to us, but this part is dark, right? Because this part is dark, it will not be visible to us. So on this day, we will see new moon. From this new moon, the next day, moon will move a little to this side. यहाँ आएगा, इस तरीके से movement है moon का. So on the next day it will move here, then the next day it will move here, then the next day it will move here. So imagine when it will finally move to this point. What's happening every day? Every day the slight part, ऐसा मान लो यहाँ पे देखो, this is moon, this is our earth. On the first day it is completely half and half, so we cannot see any light, this part is completely dark. On the next day when it will be here, sunlight will fall slant, and this slight part of this moon will be visible to us because this will be now lit. ये वाला part, तो अपने को थोड़ा सा इधर का दिखने लगेगा अभी. When we will be here, we can see half moon, ठीक है, because this half part is now lit. So we will see quadrature. या इस position को क्या बोलते हैं? Quadrature position. Because we can see this. समझ में आ रहा है तुम लोगों को? ये half part दिखाई देगा अपने को. We can see this half part. This half part will be dark and this will be lit. So we can see only this part. So we can see a quadrature moon. देखो अभी ऐसा moon दिखता है सिर्फ अपने को. So this will be the quadrature moon. Now this moon will move further and come to this position. On this day, the full bright part is towards Earth. So anybody who is on this Earth, they can see this full bright part, and this dark part is away from us. Okay? So इस दिन बोलेंगे full moon. समझ में आया? Now you may ask, so when the moon is here, it should be shadowed by the earth, right? How it's getting its light? It should be shadowed by the earth. This question was asked last time when I was teaching the geography. It's a good question. If you have such doubt, you are thinking on the right lines. This is earth, this is moon, and you can assume that if sunlight is coming from this direction, this should block and this complete earth should be dark. But ऐसा होता नहीं है. क्यों? I'm just giving you an analogy. You are in your room and you have switched on all the lights. Is it that the other part which is of, take any object, take your pen, take your water bottle, take a bulb. Is it that the other part which is not facing the ball is completely dark? Or is it that, think about, you are in a stadium flooded with huge lights and you put a football beside a tennis ball, तो क्या टेनिस बॉल पूरा अंधेरा हो जाएगा? नहीं होगा ना. It will not be completely dark because this huge light all through the stadium. The sun is so bright that this shadowing impact इधर पड़ता नहीं हो. Shadowing कब होता है? We will see that in the context of eclipses. Otherwise, this shadowing doesn't happen, and even the path of the moon is slightly tilted. It's not completely in the orbit of sun and moon are at slight 5-degree variation. We will see, read about that in detail, but don't worry. ये समझ में आया कि why it will be still lit here, not dark. It's a very like counterintuitive idea. Most of the time it feels like ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? हो ही नहीं सकता. हम लोग इतने टाइम से कहाँ थे? Like हमको क्या पढ़ाया जा रहा था? But this is how it happens. And if you're surprised to know this, then it's good. You should be surprised. Yes, Aparna, when they will be in the same line, then only shadow happens. Akshay is asking whether the moon's face is same for everyone. Yes, Kavya, chalo. ठीक है, I'm opening chat box. So this was the first concept. I hope all of you understand this. My voice is okay. Somebody is saying कि voice में break आ रहा है. देखो, if you cannot if voice is breaking, sometimes Zoom takes a little bit more bandwidth. So what you can do is on the upper corner where you can say see live streaming. There you can copy the live streaming link. Okay, I'm copying the link, and you can watch this on YouTube as well. You can go and watch this on YouTube. You can change the quality of the video as per your network, and you can watch that. Give me a break. Okay? I'm just coming. Sorry, yeah. So many of you are asking some questions. It still goes. Sir, Brinda is asking, sir, would full moon and new moon be different days for different parts of the world? No, not be different. if it will be that much light, Thomas, good question. Thomas saying if there is so much light on this day, this is Earth. So why Amavasya on the first day? Relatively, it's darker, right? It will always be relatively darker in on this day. Then इस दिन भी ये ज्यादा dark होगा ना इस position के मुकाबले. That's why. Okay. The moon is far enough. It does not have any impact as per se. Here we are facing the darker side. Here we are facing the lighter side. And even the distance is very far. So actually it doesn't impact that much. Amisha is saying the voice is completely fine and Gopal Nayak is saying the voice is not clear. So who to believe? Anyway, moving forward, if you cannot understand this, ask me whenever, like go and rewatch it and try to ask. We'll come to that. Okay, and we will discuss about the path, orbits of the moon and orbits of the earth. I'm not going into that detail because that will become too much sophisticated and many of you will then start feeling कि अभी ही माथा घूम रहा होगा कि ये क्या हो रहा है. So we'll take that slowly. Okay. Now about the stars. The various patterns formed by different group of stars is called constellation. Some of them are Ursa Major or Big Bear. So this is not a complete list, but what you should do is you should search the name of constellations and make a list that what Ursa Major is called Big Bear. Ursa Minor क्या है, उसको क्या बोलते हैं. So make a list of all the, not all the constellation, but the prominent ones and their common names. Okay. Saptarishi, all of us kind of know these are the Saptarishis. Then Saptarishi is a part of Big Bear. ये क्वेश्चन अक्सर आता है. Saptarishi is a part of Big Bear और Ursa Major. Big Dipper भी बोलते हैं इसको. Now, many of you have heard about pole star. In ancient times, people used to determine the directions during the night with help of stars. Now, because of many environmental problems, nowadays we are facing light pollution. Have you heard about light pollution? How many of you have heard about light pollution? So light pollution is basically, अभी क्या हो रहा है? We see that on streets are flooded with light, the top huge towers. Because of that, the sky is not visible and we cannot see the stars. Now, why it is considered as a pollution? Why, if we can, what's the problem if we cannot see the stars? What's the problem with too much lightning in the night? Light pollution generally do not impact human as such. The one problem that we can have is that we cannot see the stars. It can, if there is someone who is dependent upon stars to find the direction or navigate, they can face some problems. But with the light pollution, the most harmful impact that happens is on animal kingdom. Animals. And you know, animals the life of the animals are totally controlled by the nature, the position of the star, the timing of the night and days, the seasons. So animals decide even their mating period, when they will reproduce, based upon the stars. Based upon the stars, they decide their migration pattern. अभी किधर से किधर जाना है, कहाँ जाना है. So these things because they are now, because of light pollution, they are not able to see these stars. Their whole life cycle is endangered. Now about pole stars, all of you have kind of heard that pole star is, जिसको हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं, ध्रुव तारा. It is fixed at its position. It will not move. Where it is static. It always remains in the same position in the sky. Why is it so? Does stars move? Star move करता है क्या? अरे no. Stars do move भाई. No क्यों बोल रहे हो? Stars move. See, even if stars are not moving, stars are moving, but yes, they move very slow. But since Earth is rotating on its axis, so if the star is here and it's fixed and Earth is rotating, so somebody who is watching this, somebody on the Earth's surface watching this star, because of the rotation of the Earth, he will shift, and that's why he will feel, it will feel like that star is moving. There is an apparent movement of stars for us. Okay, so if you see the sky for quite some time, you will see that even stars have shifted from one position to other position. Stars are not constant in the sky. While all other stars move, pole star, Dhruv Tara, is always fixed. Why it is fixed? See this. This is a very good explanation of why it is fixed. This is our Earth rotating. Okay. And this is the pole star. All other stars, if there is a star here, 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 and here, since Earth will move, their position will, for a person who is standing here, this position will be changing. Okay. But since pole star is located at such a position, it's located rightly above the axis of the rotation. So if you see like this, let's suppose this, my hand is Earth and this is its imaginary axis. So on this position, polar star is. So if my hand will move, rotate, this will remain fixed, right? This will not fix. But if it is here and somebody like this at this place, somebody is watching it like this. So if this will move it, he will feel like he is going away from the star, or star is going away from him. Apparently move feel hoga aisa. But if it's here, there will be no movement. It will be constantly here. So this is why polar star seems to be static, although it's not static. One more thing you should know is that polar star is not one star. It's called a binary star. It's a combination of two stars. And even so, Polaris is located about 1 degree off the side of the north celestial pole. It's not exactly above this pole. It's 1 degree off. So it rotates in this 1 degree channel. 1 degree ka radius mein it keeps rotating. That's why there is slight movement. Polaris does move a little, but it's not too much. Okay. So this is all about polar star. And star moves. Our sun also moves. Okay. Sun is not constant. If you have that misconception, remove that. Sun moves, everything moves. Yeah, Mayuri, that's why we are not able to see a polar star from the southern pole. Correct. Absolutely. So this two important concepts you understand. In class 11th, we will read about the formation of planets, how they evolved. But for now, the word planet comes from the Greek word plantia or plantia, which means wanderers. Take care. Sun is our nearest star. Never get confused. Sun is a star and it's our nearest star. If we look at the Earth from the great distance, say the moon, it will appear to be shining just as moon. This is very interesting. When we look at the moon, it seems very bright and shining. Similarly, if you will go to moon and look at the Earth, Earth will also appear as bright objects shining in the sky. Now, moon को हम कहते हैं satellite. There are two kinds of satellites: man-made satellites and natural satellites. There are 7 other planets, 8 planets. I hope all of you know. Nothing much to tell about this. Now, an interesting fact is Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus have rings around them. Most of you have this idea that Saturn has the ring around it. But all these three, Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus, have rings around them. But Saturn का कुछ ज़्यादा ही अच्छा है. Saturn has beautiful rings. These are belts of small debris. How they have been created? So what happened that when this planets were forming, some of the debris, the dust particles, there was no enough gravitational pull to assimilate those dust into the planet itself, and it was not less enough to let them fly away. So they are attracted in that zone where they are surrounding the planet. Now about this, you need to read this in detail. These are the planets. I hope all of you know. Sometimes these questions are asked too. Venus, Earth, Venus, Mercury, Earth, Mars, Jupiter. यहाँ देखो कुछ अच्छा information है. The number of days it takes to orbit around the sun and number of spin days it takes to spin on the axis. It's different for different planets. So on Mercury, it takes 88 days to revolve around the Earth. So 1 year on Mercury is of 88 days. And on its axis, it revolves very slow in 59 days. Venus, may 255 days it will be covering the planet, and 1 day and night will always also be 1 day. So one spin is about a day. So 1 day on Venus is almost about Earth's time, 243 days. Earth पे तो अपना ही है, तो 1 day 1 year is 365 and 1 day is 1 day, 24 hours. You can see a pattern. The largest days are happening here, 243 days, not on Mercury, but on Venus. The smallest here is on Mercury, 88 days. After that, as you will move out, because the distance is increasing, बड़ा circle बनता जा रहा है. So as the distance will increase, it will take more number of days. So here it's about 11 years. By the time you reach up to Neptune, it will take 164 years to revolve around Sun. Now here it has given number of moons. Number of moons here is 1, here is 2, here it's 53. And also 53. These numbers are given in detail in class 11th NCERT. When we will go there, we will read about them. Now, the sun. Now, these are very introductory things. All of us know they are made up of extremely hot gases, and they provide this pulling force that binds the solar system. Now, the sun is ultimate source of heat and light for the solar system, but the tremendous heat is not felt so much by us, despite being our nearest star. It is far from us. The sun is about 150 million kilometers away from Earth. I've highlighted a few things. When you are reading, you should read this, not very important. So Earth, the geoid or geology or geometry, all these are made from this Greek word ge means earth. So geography, writing, geometry, measurement of earth, geology, study of earth, and geoid, resembling the shape of earth. अभी समझ में आ गया जियोइड क्यों बोलते हैं, इसलिए नहीं कि पचका हुआ है. The name itself suggests like earth. Earth-like shape is called geoid. Earth's shape is not geoid. Earth-like shape is called geoid. You can remember this trick, mnemonic, to memorize the name of the planets. My very efficient mother just served us nuts. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. So all 8 planets of the Earth move in a fixed path. These paths are elongated. They are called orbits. Okay? I hope all of you understand what orbit is. The path that is taken by these planets to revolve. This question is asked many a times. Venus is considered as Earth's twin. कई बार confusion होता है. People many a times consider Mars as the Earth's twin, but Mars is not the Earth's twin. Venus is the Earth's twin because its shape and size are almost similar to Earth. Till recently, Pluto was considered as planet, but now it is not. Why? To be a planet, it's considered that the object should have its own orbit. It should not be cutting across any other orbits, any other planet's orbit. तो Pluto का जो movement है ना, Pluto cuts the orbit of Neptune. That's why it was removed from the list of planets. Now it is considered as dwarf planets, although again people are considering that we should bring back Pluto into the list of planets. My screen is blur. Okay. Wait. I got it why it's blur. Sorry. Okay. Now it should be perfectly fine, right? अब सही है? I had optimized it for videos. Sorry. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, what I was telling. Dwarf planets. So these are called dwarf planets. One other example of dwarf is Cirrus. Now, when you will be preparing for science and tech, we have to read a lot about the missions taken by ISRO, NASA, and all other space agencies. Space is one of the very important topic for science and tech, both in prelims and mains. So recently, NASA had sent a mission on Cirrus. Try to find out what's the name of the mission. Again, very important thing here for the exam purpose. See, in India, astronomy has been a very ancient science. Many mathematicians, astronomers have been here. Jyotish Shastra is an old, ancient technique here. Some of the prominent names are Aryabhat, the famous astronomer. He said that moons and planets shine due to reflected sunlight. See, so long back, about more than 1500 years back, he was able to decipher that moons and planets shine due to reflected sunlight. How it will be asked in exam? This is a very, very probable question. All through this NCERT, you will find names of such individuals. You know, in history ki hai mere saath, you will remember that in history classes we saw many thinkers or mathematicians, writers, authors. So here in geography, they can ask you that the Aryabhat and his inventors, thinkers, and their contributions. So Aryabhat is responsible for finding of zero. He's responsible for saying that moon and planets shines due to reflected light. Then you will find that there are people who said that when that time people come up with this idea that Earth rotates around the sun. So एक पूरा list बनाते चलना है, ठीक है? As and when we find anything interesting like these. Sanket is saying Pluto orbits beyond the orbit of Neptune. Pluto orbits beyond the orbit of Neptune, but it cuts somewhere. जैसे कि like मान लो कि this is Sun and this is your orbit of Neptune. This is orbit of Pluto. At some point, it cuts the orbit of Neptune. Otherwise, it's outside. About the Earth. This is the third nearest and fifth largest planet. It is flat at the poles. It is described as geoid. Geoid means Earth-like shape. Now, conditions favorable to support the life. You know, many a times you have heard this or read this in newspapers. Scientists have found a new planet where life is possible. How do they come to this conclusion that life can be possible there? There is a term called Goldilocks zone, Goldilocks, Goldilocks zone. This Goldilocks zone is known as this zone of survival, which is neither too hot nor too cold. Okay. So what these astronomers, researchers, space scientists do is they look for these Goldilocks zones where the stars, the distance from the star is such that it's neither too hot nor too cold. And they try to find the possibility of life in those regions. If there is a planet in that region, so they conclude that probably life can be there. Okay. Now, light also travels. I hope all of you know this. Light is not something that reaches somewhere instantly, although it's very, very fast. So the speed of light is 3 lakhs kilometer per second. It takes about 8 minutes to reach to Earth. BPSC में पूछा था एक बार कितना मिनट लगता है. So although this sounds very easy, but these questions are asked. Outer space. The Earth's space appears blue because its 2/3 surface is covered by water, and that's why it is called blue planet. Earth is also called as blue planet. Now about Moon. It's our only satellite. This is very important. Only one, its diameter is only 1/4 that of Earth, and it is about 3,84,000 kilometers away. It's not very important, but roughly you should remember 4 lakhs kilometer away. Around this rough figure you should keep in mind. Moon moves around the Earth in about 27 days, and exactly the same time to complete one spin. Now this is where the interesting thing starts, and be very, very careful here. Moon is enigmatic. This is Earth. And this is, let's consider orbit of. So this is our Earth, and this is Moon. Pardon my positioning. इसको बराबर में रखना. So Earth, Moon is doing two things, right? It's revolving around the Earth. At the same time, it is also spinning on its axis, like Earth spins. It's also spinning on its axis. But this spin is very slow. इसको बोलते हैं tidal lock. Tidal locking. Yeah, tidal lock. What is this tidal lock? The force of attraction between the Earth and the Moon is so high that Earth has kind of fixed one face of the Moon, which is always attracted towards Earth. And that's why when this Moon is moving, it is moving in such a way that a particular part, like समझ लो कि ये इसका face है, तो this face will always be towards Earth. Always. So half of the Earth, half of the Moon, जिसको कि dark side of the Moon कहते हैं या far side of the Moon कहते हैं, that will always be away from us. this dark side of the moon, this is very interesting to understand. This dark side of the moon is not always dark. Sometimes it will be lit. But we can only see this part. इसलिए dark side नहीं, इसको the better word is far side of the moon. No matter what you do, you know, recently China launched a moon mission. The idea of that mission was to send a satellite probe on the far side of the moon, because we have never seen what far side of the moon look like. This far side of the moon cannot be seen from the earth via any telescope. If you can go and check back here. Far side of the moon. See, this is what tidal locking is. Every time this part of the moon will be facing towards Earth and the other part will always be in the other direction. समझ में आ रहा है सबको? All of you are able to understand. It's like a little bit critical to understand. First time में थोड़ा सा दिमाग को झटका लगता है कि हो क्या रहा है. If anybody is facing any issue, ask. बाद में मत कहना कि सर कुछ समझ में नहीं आया सर क्लास में. ठीक है? Anybody, any issue, ask in the class. So what happens? First, a common misconception is that moon does not rotate at all, but it does rotate. But because if it will stop rotating, will not be able to. Its phase will not be fixed. Then the phrase "dark side of the moon" does not refer to dark as the absence of light, but rather dark is unknown. Until humans were able to send spacecraft around the moon, this area had never been seen. That's why that was called dark side, because we never knew what is there. The first time that we get an idea when Russia sent its mission in some 1970s and took some pictures from that side. In reality, both near and the far side receives almost equal amount of light directly from the sun. ठीक है? झटका लग रहा है थोड़ा थोड़ा आज, ऐसा भी होता है क्या? If moon will not round its own self like Earth, क्या बोल रहे? We'll take a break. Don't worry. We'll take a break shortly. बस 5 मिनट. ठीक है? All of you understood what's? We will take a break shortly. Okay, just इतना समझो. Okay, I let me use something to make you understand this. Let's suppose this is Earth, okay, and this is moon. My hand is moon. Let's suppose ऐसे समझो, this is the dark side. So now when it is rotating, it's rotating so slow. It's also rotating. My hand is also rotating, but it's rotating so slow that it's always facing this side. ये अपने axis पे rotate हो रहा है, but its rotation is fixed. So it will take 27 days to come from here to here. Okay, my hand started rotating from here, and it will come from in 70 days. It will come here. Suppose it's not rotating. Okay, my hand is fixed here, and it's not rotating. तो क्या होगा? ये ऐसे जाएगा और ऐसे आ जाएगा. तो firstly, this phase. What I can use. So if it's not rotating on first day, this face is facing the light, okay? And when it's coming back and it's not rotating, it's straight. So on the next day, this part, after 15 days, this part will be facing light, right? And after that, this part will get the light. This part will be visible from Earth, not light, sorry. This part will be visible from Earth. If it's not facing, then when it will come here, this side, this end of the moon will be visible. So अगर rotate नहीं करता तो अपने को पूरा मून दिखता, ठीक है? If it would not have been rotating, we would have seen the complete moon. But because it is slightly rotating every day, थोड़ा move किया. So थोड़ा slight, because of the slight rotation, this face is always in this direction. And this is called tidal locking. You know, moon is used as a metaphor for love, because it's like a lover always looking at its beloved, never trying to look away. It's like kind of hooked by the attraction and it's always looking at the earth. It's called tidal locking. समझ में आई बात? चलो ठीक है. So these things are kind of very technical. It even took me a lot of time to understand क्या हो क्या रहा है, बोलना क्या चाह रहा है. But I hope this is clear. Now about human-made satellites, we have some of this, and we have to read this in details in science and tech. पूरा देखेंगे. We will read about all these probably in current affairs and science and tech classes. We will try to cover a few topics later. Then asteroids. Apart from the stars, planets, and satellites, there are numerous tiny bodies which always move around the sun. These bodies are called asteroids. Tiny bodies moving around the sun. What should be the definition? No, when you are preparing for UPSC, especially for mains, you should keep the definition of everything very handy. We are going to start ethics classes from Monday. We'll see the 30 to 40% preparation of ethics is all about knowing the definitions, because basic questions are asked. What is happiness? Now you know everything about happiness, but when it's asked define happiness, if ask question will ask emotion kya hota hai, you know everything about emotion, but you do not have the exact definition. Or when you will start defining it, you will take 500 words to define what is emotion. So knowing the definitions is very important. So whenever asteroid is asked, I know all of you have some idea that what is asteroids, but when it's come to defining the asteroids, your definition should be very clear. Tiny bodies which moves around the sun, other than stars, planets, satellite, ऐसा लिख सकते हो. They are mostly found between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. They are mostly found around the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. Sorry. The scientists of the view are the asteroids are part of the planet which exploded many years back. We will read in detail about asteroids and meteoroids later in class 11th. But you should keep this in mind. As a prelims में direct statement हो सकता है. Asteroids are part of the planet which exploded many years back. They think like ऐसा हो सकता है. It's not like completely proven. They have some models, and based upon that, they think that this is true. Then meteoroids. Small piece of rocks which move around the sun are called meteoroids. Small piece of rocks. Sometimes meteorites come near the earth and tend to drop upon it. Meteorites can drop upon earth. Sometimes they are not able to enter, तो उसको बोलते हैं meteors. It causes a flash of light. Sometimes a meteor, without being completely burned, falls on the earth and causes a hollow. The meteoroids which reach on the earth's surface are called meteors. ठीक है? Meteoroids which that will reach up to the earth's surface will be called meteors. Others will, because there's so much friction, most of it will always get burned. I don't know how frequently these meteors will be falling upon earth's surface. Do you have any like इतने दिन में आता होगा? Is it a rare event or it's like general common event? What do you think? Both the first answer is very rare and the second is very frequent. They are very common, very frequent. It keeps falling, and even the reaching of the meteors का अर्थ पे पहुंचना भी बहुत rare नहीं है. They keep every day you will find कि some or other meteors reach up to Earth's surface. So it's very common. It's not very rare, and even there are like professionals जिनका काम ही है, they are called meteor hunters. So their full-time profession is कि they will track these meteors and go and find those. So geography बहुत myth busting class है. Anyway, so they will reach, and then there is a band of Milky Way galaxy. A cluster of stars is called a galaxy. Galaxy is a huge system of billions of stars, clouds of dust and gases. Okay, and our galaxy is called Akash Ganga or Milky Way. Then there are millions of such galaxies that make the universe. Billions of stars, millions of galaxies. I hope all of you are clear about the difference between million and billion. Earth, solar system. So this is how, this is you. Earth is bigger than this. Solar system is bigger than that. Milky Way and then universe. ठीक है? थक गए? नए लोग थक गए होंगे जिनकी आदत नहीं है. समझ में आ रहा है अभी तक? अनामिका is in the class. हो, कैसा लग रहा है अनामिका? थोड़ा कुछ अलग है, स्कूल में पढ़ा था उससे. चलो. अभी तो पार्टी शुरू हुई है, निशांत कह रहा है. सही में अभी तो पार्टी शुरू हुई है. दिस इज लाइक ज्योग्राफी, मतलब मजेदार है. एनीवे, तो थोड़ा सा चैप्टर 2 में चलते हैं और लैटिट्यूड, लॉन्गिट्यूड, टाइम जोन्स, और देखते हैं कि हाउ यू कैन गेन वन डे इन योर लाइफ. मतलब तुमको जिंदगी में कभी एक दिन बचाने का मन करे, तुम चाहते हो एक दिन पास्ट में जाना. So people say that there are no time machines, but today I will give you a trick that how you can jump from 31 to from 1st January to 31st December. आराम से जा सकते हो एक दिन पीछे. It's like it will not even take you anything. You can just take one step and you will reach. You will go from 1st January to 31st December, and you can again enjoy the party. So this is what we are going to do in this chapter. 5 minutes break. People are all, we take a break at 2, and at 2 there will be 1 hour break, complete 1 hour break. You can like have your lunch aram se, and then we will come back at 3 p.m. and then we continue. Now I know most of you are very new, and that's what I say in my orientation classes, that you have to build the stamina first. यूपीएससी ऐसे नहीं होगा। 2 घंटे बैठने की अगर आदत नहीं है, सुनने की आदत नहीं है, तो 60 लोग ऑलरेडी जा चुके हैं क्लास से। We had almost more than 300 people coming to this class. 60 people are already gone. I hope some of them are watching it on YouTube, but still. So be here for next few minutes and then we will take a break. Okay. Global latitudes and longitudes. Now, sometimes again, a definition. What is globe? Globe is a true model, miniature form of Earth. It's a true model of Earth. Okay. And one of the feature of the globe is that it represents the correct size of the countries, continents, and the oceans. Now, in the next chapter, we will read about maps. I think in the 4th chapter, we will read about maps, and we will see that there are different projections, and you will learn that the map that you saw generally, that's an incorrect map. Sometimes even people say that that's a racist map. Racist because it shows these European countries much bigger than what they are, and they show the equatorial countries very small in size. But globe fortunately doesn't do that. It gives us a true model. We will see कि क्या होता है. I'm just creating a little excitement. Okay. So globe is a true model and it gives a correct size. But the map we see is the map that we draw, that is not a correct map as per the size. Now, if you have to locate any place on Earth, how will you do that? For that, we use latitudes and longitudes. Like if on a graph, all of us have done this exercise, right? If I say, okay, what is the location of this graph? This is the y-axis, this is the x-axis. So what you will do, you will tell me, okay, this is x1, y1 is its location. If you will tell me, acha 1, 1 pe chale jaiye, I will go 1 meter from here and 1 meter from here, I will reach here, right? This is how we find location on any 2-dimensional surface. Now, so on Earth also, we need 2 dimensions. One is called latitude, another is called latitude. देखते हैं क्या होता है. Before that, you should know axis. When Earth is rotating, there is an imaginary line which passes from the North Pole to the South Pole. So this is something like that. This is our Earth. This is the North Pole. This is the South Pole, and this is your imaginary axis line. Okay. Imaginary है, real नहीं है, imaginary axis line. This imaginary lines, and there is also another imaginary line which is called equator. This divides the Earth into 2 equal planes, northern half and southern half. So this arrow wala jo part hai, you can understand this is the equator. Now, the northern half of the Earth is known as northern hemisphere. The southern half is known as southern hemisphere. I hope ये नहीं समझाना पड़ेगा. Now, all the parallel circles, this is very important. You know, most of us know what is latitude, longitude, but there are few critical informations here. Pay attention. All the parallel circles from the equator up to the poles are called parallels of latitude. Okay. From equator to pole you move up, you will call it parallels of latitude. Latitudes are measured in degrees. Equator represents the 0 degree, and as you move up from here, 20 degree, 40 degree, 60 degree, 80 degree, there ऐसा नहीं कि बस 20 degree है. Every place has a degree. Okay, sometimes इसमें भी confusion होता है लोगों को. So even 20 degree, 1 degree, 2 degree, all of them are degrees. And finally at 90 degree, it will end. Why at 90 degree? this is your equator line. Okay, so from here you start drawing angles like these. So this is your final equator line. A line around these is first degree, around this is second degree, third degree, ऐसे ऊपर up to 90 degree. It will be measured because 1/4 of 360 कर दो तो 90 degree तक मिलेगा. 90 degree north and 90 degree south. So all the parallels north of the equator will be called northern latitudes and south of the parallels will be called southern latitudes. Now, as this is important, as we move away from the equator, the size of the parallels of the latitude decreases. याद रहेगा? As we move northward or southward, as we move poleward, the size of the latitudes decreases. Okay. Then important parallels of latitudes. There are some parallels which are very important, which we should know about. This will be very, very important going forward. So at 23 degree and half, we call it Tropic of Cancer. 23 degrees south, we call it Tropic of Capricorn. This is called Arctic Circle at 66 and half. And here we call it Antarctic Circle. Now there are two mnemonics I will give you here. I find it like very confusing. पहले तो कि which is latitude and which is longitude. I always confuse in this. So I have like this simple trick. जो लेटी हुई है वो latitude है. लेटी समझ में आता है ना? सो गई है. So लेटी हुई on Earth, these are latitudes. Okay, these are lying down. So latitudes, and opposite to that, these are longitude. Latitude, जो लेटी हुई है. And about another confusion that I always used to make this mistake is the difference between Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle, like which is in north and which is in south. You can have your own style of remembering this, but I kind of my थोड़ा सा उल्टा है, but I remember कि जिधर N है, it is not in north. So and is not in north, and south में है, and जिसमें N नहीं है, it is in north. So you have N here, N and N are repelling. Somehow try to remember all these because this is important. And Cancer is in north, and Capricorn जो है वो बिच्छू है वो south में. So latitude लेटी हुई, Antarctic in south. Degrees you will be able to memorize, I think. Yeah, Bina, same like West Bengal is not in West, and is not in good one. Okay, Aditi also has a good one. Antarctic and Capricorn, more alphabet is in south. ठीक है. 5 people have raised their hand for what? अभी क्या विपत्ति आ गई? Anamika, you wanna say anything? Pradeep, Rizwan. Okay. Hemant, why are these named Capricorn and Cancer? बस नाम है, तुम्हारा नाम हेमंत क्यों है, बस रख दिया गया. Now this is very important to understand. Heat zone on Earth. This is the last topic that we will do, and then we'll take a break. Okay. See, midday sun is exactly overhead at least once a year on all latitudes in between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. This area receives a maximum heat and it's called torrid zone. Forget about this, what it's saying. Remember, pay attention here. This is a flat surface. Now, if you will, the light from the torch that is falling on this, the torch light falling on a straight surface is bright and covers a small area, right? Light here will be very bright and it will cover a small area. If the surface is tilted, if the surface is slant, the same torch light will fall on a larger area. It will be less bright. So let's suppose this light is all. Let's suppose that this light is also the source of energy. This is like, let's suppose this is the Earth surface and this is sun. So we are getting our energy from sun. So क्या होगा? If more energy will fall in a smaller area, more energy, smaller area, this region will be hot or cold? Hot. So wherever the sunlight will fall directly, that area will be hot. Right? Easy to understand. Here you have more area but less energy. So this area will be cold or colder than the above one, right? Now see the surface of the earth. This is sun and this is earth. I'm taking a rough idea. This is not like exactly like this. So these areas where sun is slant, the sunlight will be falling, the same sunlight will fall on a larger area, right? But if that sunlight will fall here on a relatively flatter surface, the same sunlight will fall on a smaller area. So which area will be dark and which area will be, which area will be hot and which area will be cold? It's easy to understand, right? This is cold, this is hot. So इक्वेटर वाले हॉट होते हैं, इक्वेटर हॉट होता है. So this is cold and this is hot. This hot range is called torrid zone. We will come to this overhead वाला ये जो चक्कर है इस पे आएंगे, अभी इसमें दिमाग मत लगाओ. When we will see then in the next chapter, we will see the motion of the earth. There will be discuss again how this happens, but remember this line. So this zone will be called as torrid zone, where sunlight is falling directly between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. So go back here. This region is torrid zone. Okay, sunlight is falling perpendicular to the surface. And saying that midday sun never shines overhead on any latitude beyond the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Midday sun never shines overhead. In this region, at least there will be one day when sun will be directly above your head. If like 12 बजे तुम ऊपर देखोगे and sun will be directly above your head at exactly 12 noon. If you are living into this region, within this torrid zone. But if you are in this region, temperate region, if you are in this region, sun will never be overhead for you. कभी तुमको ऐसा ऊपर सिर उठाओगे तो कभी तुमको सूरज अपने ऊपर नहीं दिखेगा, because of the tilt of the earth. We will come to that. ठीक है, अभी थोड़ा सा इग्नोर करो, बस टॉपिक याद रखो कि हाँ ऐसा होता है. We will never midday sun at 12 noon. Sun will never shine overhead at any latitude beyond the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn. The sunlight here will be less, and that's why it's called temperate zone. ठंडा इलाका है. So this is your temperate zone south, temperate zone north, and beyond this will be like completely freeze zone. Sunlight बहुत कम जाएगा, जितना बहुत ज़्यादा slant हो गया तो. So freeze zone. Here sun does not rise much above the horizon. यहाँ तुमको कभी भी sun, जैसे हमारे यहाँ क्या होता है, if all of us those who are living in India, we see that sun is rising, coming full overhead and then going down. There you will never see, the sun will come at this place and then went down. It will never come full circle above your head. इस तरीके का इसका lateral movement होगा. क्यों होगा? That we will see. I will explain all these. Now what are longitudes? चलो इसको आके करते हैं 3 बजे से. बहुत नए लोग हैं, थोड़ा थक जा रहे हैं जल्दी. There was a question in pre about this topic. Yes, तरुण, क्वेश्चन तो रहेगा ही. 3 बजे मिलते हैं. आई होप यू लाइक द क्लास एंड बहुत ज्यादा परेशान नहीं हुए होगे. ठीक है, एंडिंग दिस. You will have to use the same link. Okay, no new link will be given. You have to use the same link and come back at 3. Yes, you will get the recorded lectures. कौन है? या आई विल. चलो ठीक है. ओके, बाय. थैंक यू इतिश्री. लिंक फॉर जेके इज नॉट. अगर किसी को अपने स्टेट का लिंक नहीं मिल रहा है तो सेंड मी टेक्स्ट में. आई विल सेंड यू द लिंक फॉर योर स्टेट. विल टॉक अबाउट नोट्स मेकिंग एंड ऑल लेटर. ठीक है, क्लास इज ओवर. दोज हु वांट टू लीव द क्लास कैन लीव एंड कम बैक एट 3. मयूरी इज टेक्सटिंग कि आज इतने अच्छे से एनसीईआरटी समझ में आ रहा है कि लग रहा है कि मैंने ही लिखी है एनसीईआरटी. चलो बढ़िया है, गुड. Yes, Vikas, we will have a discussion on map. Don't worry. Map is a very essential part of geography. Without geography, there is no. Without map, there is no geography. Recorded lectures will be sent in the Telegram groups. For strategy and book list video, text me. I will send. ले लद्दाख वाले जम्मू एंड कश्मीर वाला ज्वाइन कर लो, शायद देखना पड़ेगा. चलो, आई एम एंडिंग दिस. ओके, आशीष ज्यादा हार्ड वर्ड इंग्लिश में बता दिया करो. ठीक है, मैं कोशिश करूंगा. आशीष, क्या होता है साउथ वाले थोड़ा सा परेशान हो जाते हैं, मतलब हिंदी बोलो तो. हरियाणा इज नॉट मिसिंग. आई विल सी. Yes, Subham, I will say.